Hello and welcome to everyone. This is Murray Stewart, your host and presenter, and this is episode 943 of Blind Magic in Alice Springs. Okay, let's take a trip back in time. I was 37 years of age. I was in Melbourne. I was married. It was the year 2000, and I had a major heart attack. Yes, I was 37. And why was this so? Well, at that time, would have been classified, I guess, as a workaholic. Yes, I was. I worked from very early in the morning till very late at night. And my body decided to tell me that enough was enough. And during that 5 days of rehabilitation, enforced by the cardiologist who said if I didn't do that, I would surely die, I then decided with the time that was available to me that I would sell my then business in Melbourne and move to Alice Springs, a place where I had, where we, myself and my then wife, had visited for our honeymoon, and we fell in love with. Upon telling her that we were going to move to Alice Springs, that I had made that decision and move from Melbourne, selling the business, etc., I remember she broke down in tears, and so it was. On August 14, 2001, we arrived in Alice Springs. And it was the best decision I have ever made, without any doubt. And although my marriage did not last the distance, it was a great decision because this is a wonderful healing place. And that brings me to yesterday. A friend of mine's wife or partner said to me that her man has made a decision to slow down and to reconsider how much work he is doing. They're going to buy themselves a caravan and head away at weekends and just make some changes to their life. And I would urge anyone who is in this position to do so. As I said, I was a workaholic. That's what I thought that men had to do to support their families. That's what I thought our role was in life. But you know, your body and your mind can only cope with so much. And eventually, something is going to give. And if I can say that the only mistake I made in coming to Central Australia, Alice Springs, Northern Territory, the only mistake I probably did make was that an old dog generally returns to his old territory. And I did start to do the impossible again. Yes, I was working as a myotherapist. I then decided that I wanted to return to high-level athletics. So I trained and trained and trained. I also founded the Desert Sports Foundation, and I began coaching athletes as well. So there I was again, working to the bone, stressing myself out, and once again, Mother Nature told me that that's not sustainable. Hence, in 2022, at 59 years of age, as I say, 22 years after my first heart attack, I got the big one. Yeah, I got the big one, all right, requiring a quintuple bypass. And on top of that, I got a couple of strokes, as was determined with all of the scans. And that was purely brought on by the fact that I once again had overworked, trying to do the impossible. Mixing work with high-level athletics, coaching, forming organisations, putting on major events in Alice Springs. Yeah, the body finally said enough is enough. And so that has definitely changed me forever. I will probably never, ever be as dynamic, if I can use that term again. No, I think those days are behind me, but I've still got a lot to give because there, but for the grace of God, I am still here. It's a miracle, but I am still here. But I would urge anyone out there, man or woman, if you are working yourself to the bone, and if you think that that is what your self-worth relies upon, just remember you are driving a very, very hard bargain. Yes, your body eventually will let you know in no uncertain terms what it thinks of the pressure you are putting your systems under. So reconsider, smell the roses, and start thinking about what really is important. And what really is important is your family, your friends, smelling the roses, taking the time to do the things that are truly important in life. And yes, good on you for having an amazing work ethic. And that certainly is good role modeling for your children. But at the end of the day, your children wouldn't mind having you around for longer. And so too your partner would like to have some good times with you, some fun times without the work, without the stress, without the emotional trauma. Yeah, they want time with you. They do. And that's the other thing. If you don't spend time with the ones that you love, then the ones you love may start reconsidering the time they're spending with you. That's certainly what happened with me. So not only did I suffer a medical catastrophe, but also my marriage suffered, and ultimately it ended. So I'm urging anyone out there who is in this position to reconsider, take a break, have a good talk with yourself, and maybe there are some alternatives to what you are doing. Yeah, maybe selling the business, maybe buying that caravan, doing some traveling. Yeah, all sorts of things that you could do a little differently. If you do own a business, maybe it's about working smarter and not harder. So yeah, good luck on your journey. And I hope you can take that break. That's the first thing to do. Take a break. Mine was enforced with my first heart attack that I had. I had no choice. I did have to take that 5 days in hospital. I remember saying then to the cardiologist that I was going to sign myself out of hospital. And in fact, I asked the nurses to bring the papers to me, because when he said that I had to spend 5 days in hospital, I remember saying to him, hey, mate, I've got a business to run. I've got 22 staff and they need me to be at work. And I remember that he used an expletive deletive, basically saying, hey, mate, you can do that, but you're not going to be around for much longer if you keep pushing yourself in this direction. I remember the words were, you are an effing idiot. Yeah, that's right. He did. A man of incredible intellect was resorting to that language. So he cared and he could see what was coming. And some 22 years later, even though I did make a great decision in moving to Alice Springs, some 22 years later, following perhaps not listening again to the advice that I was giving myself, I did then go back and probably work too hard, not necessarily just at work, but also as a volunteer. And once again, life bit me on the bum. It did. It absolutely bit me on the bum. And here I am now, still rehabbing, still trying to put it all back together again, because I think I've still got plenty left in the tank. But what I do have to do, I do have to work smarter and not harder. Yeah, that's going to be my aim. Hey, folks, it's raining here in Alice Springs today, which just goes to show that all good things must come to an end. It's absolutely amazing. We have had the most brilliant April and May weather on history. day after day of the most incredible weather. Well, I guess it all had to come to an end. Today, it's raining outside. Yes, it's raining in the desert, folks. Beautiful, beautiful rain. But as I said, whoa, have we had a great run. I remember when I did come here on August 14, 2001, on October, November that year, it rained and it rained and it rained. And I remember thinking, what a miracle this place is. We're 1,500 kilometres from the nearest ocean, and yet it was pouring with rain. I was thinking, where on earth is this water coming from? And so I think the same today. Where is this beautiful rain coming from? What a miracle Australia is. And what a miracle our Creator is. He makes everything possible, doesn't he? And so today, after the most beautiful couple of months of wonderful weather, it is raining outside, and we're rejoicing in that as well. All right, folks, that's it. This has been episode 943, a Blind Magic Communications production.